And voters still have a whole lot of questions about Issue 1 and how it could impact future constitutional amendments. Local 12's James Pilcher joins us now with some of those answers and what each side of Issue 1 has to say about this proposed change. A lot of talk about this right now, James.
Yeah, Issue 1 would actually change how citizens could change the state's constitution and make it more difficult to make that happen. So I asked those for it, including Ohio Republican Party Chair Alex Trianci-Fallu, and those against it, including those with the one person, one vote campaign, why this is a good or bad idea for Ohio.
You know, our Constitution should be protected for special interest groups who come in to Ohio and spend a lot of money on television and add things to our Constitution when they don't belong there. You know, the federal Constitution requires 3/4 of the states for ratification of amendments. It requires 2/3 of the House and Senate. So supermajorities are nothing new to America.
That what's happening here is that their right to majority rule, a simple 50+1 vote, that they've held for 111 years, a sacred right, would be taken away if Issue 1 passes. You can't rig the system just because you don't like the way the results of the election might be.
Currently, it only takes a simple majority to pass a citizen-initiated constitutional amendment in Ohio. Issue 1 would raise that threshold to 60%. It would also require signatures from all of Ohio's 88 counties, raising it up from the 44 now currently required. And it would eliminate the 10-day period for proponents to fix bad signatures that were turned in. 18 states, including Ohio, allow citizens to amend their constitutions. 2 require the legislature to approve such measures before they go before voters, Massachusetts and Mississippi. The other 16 allow citizens to get an amendment on the ballot using petitions and signatures. Of those 18 total, only 3 require more than a majority vote. Arizona and Florida require 60%, while Colorado requires 55%.
Very interesting insight there, James. And we've heard a lot of talk about abortion rights when it comes to Issue 1. But I guess the question here is, what impact does it have? And would it be a direct impact if it does have one immediately on abortion rights?
So it's kind of a yes and no answer.
Okay.
So Issue 1, if it were to pass, would go into effect immediately. But it does not have any direct impact on existing abortion laws. However, abortion rights advocates have already collected enough signatures to put an initiative on the ballot like other states have to protect abortion rights in November. So if this passes, this one passes, it would make it a lot harder for those advocates to get it passed with that 60% threshold.
An important point of clarification there that I think a lot of people are a bit confused about right now. Let's talk about one more thing. What are the polls saying about this? I know there's not a ton of polling, but what are we getting as we get closer to this?
Just late last week, the USA Today and Suffolk University did a poll of likely voters in Ohio, and they found a growing number, 57% are against it. And now, not to anybody's surprise, 76% of Democrats are opposed, but 41% of likely Republican voters were against it. So that gives the opponents to this some hope. There are also some former GOP governors and elected officials who are speaking out against it. But there's still 17% who are undecided on the issue, just 2 weeks away from the election. So that's giving the advocates for Issue 1 some hope as they go down the stretch.
It'll be interesting to see what that 17% of undecided voters end up doing. That is something we'll have to wait until Election Day to see. James, thank you so much. And to that point, as for voting on Issue 1, you can check with your local Board of Elections for early voting times and locations. The polls are going to be open from 6:30 to 7:30 on August 8th, and you can tune in to Local 12 News that evening and check our website, local12.com, or our free Local 12 News app for those results.
You can always find our stories here on YouTube, but go ahead and click subscribe to get notifications and stay in the know.